chat for 11/25/2025. Good to see everybody here. Wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about some of the things going on with the channel, also some of the devices that I am in the process of wrapping up reviews on. Be able to get some of that done this week. So you should see a new device rollout or a new video out tomorrow, hopefully, on an unboxing for the Supernote Nomad Crystal Edition. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Crystal Edition, I'm also going to show that real quickly here on the stream. But this is what the final package looks like. You've got the Crystal Lamy collaboration, and then of course you've got the Crystal edition of the Nomad in the vegan leather case. So kind of a cool thing. I had stayed away from the Nomad for quite a while. Most of you know I'd let Trey have that. I gave that to him, and he uses it every day. He drives it on the daily. But since Supernote's upended the digest and changed things around a lot, I wanted to go ahead and try to give the Nomad and the Manta as a combined system a shot to see if I would have a use case for two tablets. Generally, I can carry the Manta anywhere, but we'll see what that is. But that's not what this stream is about. So primarily what I'd like to do with this stream tonight is talk about some of the Black Friday stuff that's going on. And, you know, everybody's doing their Black Friday videos, and that's what this kind of is to a point, but not really Black Friday in general, more about what are the things that I actually use on a daily basis. And part of that is going to be, yes, the Supernote, crystal clear thinking that we've talked about before, but also just some of the other items. So you'll notice here, and I've put everything in. If you go to my website, which is www.ofc1820.com, and you click on the things I use, you're going to find all of the different things that you see that are creating this, that I am using to create my videos, edit my videos, the microphone I'm using, the teleprompter that's here, which I'm not really using right now because this isn't a scripted video or anything. But what you'll see is that I have all of that uh, listed out. And I have it listed out so that if you want to purchase any of this, these are affiliate links for the most part. Not everything's an affiliate link. But if it is an affiliate link, it costs you no extra. But if you really want to support the channel, if you want to help support the work I do at absolutely no additional cost to you, the best way to do that is through affiliate links because of the fact that you aren't going to have to pay any extra. And in some cases, you get a pretty decent discount depending on what it is. And so I wanted to walk through really quickly. I just updated this today over lunch, and now I'm on vacation until Sunday or until Monday. I go back to work. But I did want to highlight, you know, these products, and some of the prices have gone down. Some of them have stayed flat. And if you want to go and purchase any of these, if you do it through my affiliate links, I would always appreciate it. First of all, Supernote. I do want to show the crystal clear thinking. So the base price for the Nomad, no case, no pen, is $329. And $329 is not bad for that device, I don't think. I think it's a good price point. But what I wanted to draw your attention to, and what you'll see the video coming out with here within the next day or so, is the crystal clear thinking. So the truth is that if you buy this particular set here, and it's a special set that includes the Nomad, the Crystal Lamy that I showed here as well, and some stickers and a nice metal box that I'm trying to locate. And you get a nice metal tin that comes and shows it's a Lamy collaboration. Pretty cool. All of that for $5 more than you would pay for just the pen, the folio, and the device. So for an extra $5, you get this nice set. And like I said, I'll do the unboxing, and I dropped some things, but you get a nice set, tells you a little bit about it, gives you some stickers. It also, one thing that was kind of cool, and I'll show this when you watch the video, uh, you get, if you're buying this for someone specifically, you get a nice little DIY experience with the pen. So they ship the pen in different parts inside the box. And then what you do is you go ahead and assemble the pen. So it's just a nice way to be able to get this into the hands of somebody if they're interested in, in purchasing this device, or if they're interested in e-ink. This would be a very good device to be able to have for them as an entry level. And the Nomad's great. I mean, I'm especially interested to try it again now that I have that enhanced digest, but it's going to be pretty cool. But those are the pictures. So it shows you it was co-designed, a lot of different information. But what I wanted to draw your attention to is that if you buy everything separately and you don't get the 10 or any of the other co-branded stuff, it's $534 that way. So you might as well buy it, even if you're buying it for yourself and not buying it as a gift for someone, you'd be just as well to buy it as the set, because you know that's what you're getting. So that's $539 before tax. But I do want to talk about some of the other things I use. So it's not just about Supernote. I also have all of the books links. I have all of these devices. The exception is the Note Air 4C, because that is what Trey has. And I mentioned in my upcoming video, but also Trey will be here this weekend. So we are likely to be able to do a filming and be able to get that out. So he's got the 4C, I've got the 5C, he has the Supernote Nomad. Of course, I have the Nomad now again, and the Manta. And so we're going to try to compare notes. We're going to have a conversation and try and get that recorded for you all to kind of hear his engineering perspective on things and what he uses the devices for. And then, of course, my normal use case, but also how can I envision now using the Nomad again? And is that form factor going to be something I'll be able to stick with? But please drop something down in the chat. Let me know if you're here, if you have questions. Are there any devices you're especially curious about? And what you'll notice here, yes, they are affiliate links, but I don't want to limit your choices. Uh, there are links to the bookstores, but also you can go through Amazon. Again, sometimes a lot of people go through books on Amazon because of the return policy with Amazon. But you tend to get a little bit better deals with the bundles on the book's website. It's just whether or not you want to put yourself out there when it comes to dealing with their return policy, which I've never had to use, but I've heard is not everyone's favorite. You'll also notice that the terminal device is here. And if you order for terminal, you actually get $15 off. What I've done with Terminal is they're one of those unique companies that I really enjoy, where they, hold on a second, let me grab the. So Terminal's one of those companies, this is open source, and my reTerminal actually has a collaboration with them, but this is an open source product. I really enjoy it a lot. And what they've done with their commissions or their affiliate link structure is they let the affiliate pick on what to share as far as a discount. I think the original split, if I remember correctly, was 2010. And I said, well, can I do it 15-15? And so that's what we did. So if you go to purchase, you'll get $15 off, and then I get a $15 commission for each unit sold. Then you have the reTerminals, and reTerminals are these guys, which I've shown several times. Of course, this is the color version here, and it is a lot of fun. I also have the black and white as well. which is this one here. And they're both really cool devices, quite a bit less expensive than the terminal, and they're made out of metal. But you can flash the terminal software on them. So if you're interested in doing that, it would be a nice, another nice way to be able to do that. And like I said, they've collaborated with Terminal in the past. But on that one, you can get 5% off by using my code. And you can see those prices there. And all of these prices were updated this afternoon. So what you see here is what you should see when you log in to uh, the different places. The Allura which again is one of my favorite new things, and that's my picture frame. The Allura, since I can't show you that one any other way, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here. And that's where it's going to be the 13.3 inch e-ink tablet or not tablet, e-ink digital photo frame. And I've shown several pictures of this, and it's been a lot of fun playing around with it and doing different things with it. And we've got it up in our living room because it's such a nice device. The cool thing about it, it's Spectre 6 technology, which works different than some of these other e-ink panels because you get a much wider color range. And if you use my code there, you get 15% off of that. And then I've gone through, and these are all of the, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I would encourage you if you're interested in what kind of microphone do I use? What about the Elgato prompter? What about my lighting setup? What about some of the other computer monitors and computers that I use? And unfortunately, my computer itself is discontinued, but I did add a link to the newest version, which actually is cheaper for about the same configuration, but it is a smaller screen. Mine's a 15.6-inch screen. This one has a 14-inch screen, but it's a full dual screen. The way mine works right now, I have a smaller screen on the bottom, kind of a half screen, and then the keyboard. On the new one, you actually pull that off, and here I'll show you real quick. We'll pop over there. So on the new one, you actually pull off the entire keyboard and you get another full-size screen, or at least really close to it, where the keyboard was. So kind of a neat, I like the Duo, I like the Asus. I don't know if I'll stay with the Asus next time around, but we'll see. I may go back to a tower. I've been seeing a lot of people do that. And that way I could just have my big screens and not have to worry about where to put a laptop that I pretty much don't use as a laptop. I hardly ever put the thing anywhere else except right here. And then my keyboard, my mouse, the Quirky toys, which this is another thing that's on its way for me to be able to review. I have it. I'm still waiting on my number pad, but I do have the wrist rest, and this is the 10th anniversary edition. It's also available on Amazon. But drop questions down in the chat. Are there any things on here you want me to elaborate on? Any dock that I use, the Anchor, the Basius, all of that's listed here as well. The TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra is listed here, but it's only available in the UK. That's where you have to purchase it. They won't ship it to the US, and that's because it doesn't work on most of our carriers. But they are promising, hopefully next year, to have a US version of this. And then, of course, some different Samsung, chargers and different monitors. And again, I don't have the big 4K monitors. I just have 1080p, and that works well for me. So they're budget friendly. A lot of this stuff you're going to see on my channel is budget friendly because I don't spend a lot of money. Pretty much I take whatever comes in from the channel and I buy the necessary equipment that I need to help me make videos. A video, again, there's the prompter, the Facecam 2 or Mark II, my Halo webcam, which I've never gotten to work quite quite right. So I don't use that as much. It's not a bad camera. It's just for some reason, if I try to hook two cameras up at the same time, I have issues in maintaining those. And then there's the document camera, which I use all the time. So my document camera, I've kind of I don't know, MacGyvered my document camera so that it's adhesived onto one of my monitors in a permanent position to look down on the desk as if I had some kind of fancy Sony or some other kind of DSLR camera. But it's just a document camera and it gets good resolution at 1080p. I can do 4K, which I do every once in a while, but the frame rate's quite a bit slower on that. Audio, you're going to see the Wave DX, which is this microphone right here. I also have the Yeti, which is the microphone I started with, and then a couple of other, the Newers and the Movos. And then right now, this is a great deal I noticed today on the Sony noise canceling headphones that I use. And Vlad Kostek actually turned me on to these because I asked him, I need a good set of headphones that does a decent job with noise canceling and has really good sound. And these are great. And for under $100, these are a really good buy right now when it comes to a nice quality. If you like over-the-ear headphones, which I do. So these are very, very good for me. I like them a lot. And then on software, again, these are things that I use. You've got Microsoft, and I give you the pricing there. None of this is affiliate link until you get to Riverside. So none of Microsoft. Obsidian is open source and free. If you want to pay for their sync service or their publish service, which I pay for both of those. So my website, what you're looking at right now, runs through Obsidian, and my whole second brain system runs through Obsidian. So the sync makes that seamless for me. And so I don't mind supporting them with those services that come at a cost to them. The software development, they aren't charging you for that. So they're just charging you for those services. Riverside, which is what I'm presenting this on right now, is they do have a free tier, but then they also, if you want to pay, they have some different offers going on. You can use my code and get a month free, or right now, I would encourage you to go ahead and click and use the Black Friday code that they have up and running. You're looking at 35% off any yearly plan. So that could save you quite a bit of money if you wanted to pay by the year, which is also at a discount already. So pretty cool. DaVinci Resolve is free. I did purchase the studio version of that because it was one of those things that I wanted that little bit of extra functionality. And of course, you have OBS. Now, it's important to know that, yes, Riverside is what I'm using for streaming. For a long time, I just did that through a combination of different open source products that plugged into OBS. And occasionally I might still do that because there are certain shots, even with this, that I have trouble getting. And that does allow me to push out 60 frames per second on the stream. But I find I don't need that a ton. So, but what I do like about Riverside, and I'm going to do a dedicated video on this, is the way it helps me to generate shorts, the way it helps me edit these longer videos into something more digestible. It's AI tools, and I know AI is kind of a catch-all, but it's transcription tool and being able to edit with the transcript and everything is extremely well implemented. So I had no problems. I mean, I thought enough of it to pay for it, get the subscription, and I have no problem recommending it for someone who is really trying to get into this streaming business. And when I mean business, I mean streaming. So whether you're doing it as a business or just for fun. And then, of course, there's all the different lighting fixtures and different things around the house, including or not around the house, but in my office, including my stands for my monitors. All of that is here, all of the different tripods. And again, you'll notice a lot of this is very reasonably priced. I'm not looking to break the bank on most things. The Elgatos, the Master Mount and the Flex Arm actually went up a little bit. But again, those are all nice to haves if you want to be able to work in this space. But any questions? It looks like we've got someone saying hello. Oh, it's Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Good to see you. I'm only going to be on another couple of minutes, but was walking people through. This is that time of year when if you want to support the channel, this is a great way to do it by using any of the affiliate links. They don't cost anybody a dime, so feel free to use those if you'd like. If there's anything you're thinking about ordering, we also talked about the crystal clear thinking set. Now, let me go ahead and stop sharing because I've gone. So there we go. So, we talked about the crystal clear thinking set with the Supernote. So I got the Nomad in with their gift box. And, if you're buying that as a gift, I really think it's kind of one of those things that why not? If you've already committed that you're going to buy the Nomad, and if you've already committed that you want the crystal lammy that comes with it, and if you are good with the white case, it's only $5 more to get the gift set, which includes that nice gift box. And you'd probably enjoy this, Aaron. I mentioned that when you open up the box, you get a nice little explanatory thing. It shows the diagrams. They give you some stickers. The box has the pin disassembled. So if you've got any of anybody that is kind of the DIY, uh, they enjoy that kind of thing. They get to go ahead and assemble the pin for the first time, which is kind of fun to do that. I enjoyed it anyway, and I'd forgotten how much I love this pen. So pretty cool. And all the other things, like I said, nothing on this list is something that I wouldn't recommend. You'll notice that I've got several of the books devices on there. The Palma is not there yet. Not that I don't recommend the Palma, I just haven't had it long enough. I would feel comfortable recommending any of these other books devices, even though I haven't done the final review on the Note Air 5C yet or the Go 10.3. I know that they're good devices, not just for me, but you'll notice that there is a discount for the Note Max, and that's the biggest one. Uh-oh. You heard it here first, folks. Aaron has a Nomad in his hand right now. Uh-oh. You got to tell me, how do you like it? I mean, I know you're a big fan of the Rewood's AI Paper Mini. I will really be curious your thoughts on the Nomad. The one thing I noticed from your video earlier today, Aaron, was just how, in my opinion, and you didn't say this, but this is my opinion based on what you did have to say, how far short the AI Paper Mini fell with the remarkable paper move from an organizational perspective. Now, take the calendar out of that, and really just the actual system is not near as advanced as what the remarkable, what you showed there, and what the Supernote is capable of. And I think that kind of really highlighted where they need to go as a company and what I think they need to focus on. And one of the reasons that I'm not reviewing that device anymore, and I had the larger AI paper version, the 10.65-inch version, was because I just don't think they're there. And I hope they get there, but they're just not. I'm really curious, and I've forgotten how much I enjoy writing on this. Excuse me. I had forgotten how much I enjoyed just taking notes on this size of a device. And also, I'd forgotten because I let Trey have the Crystal Lammy because they sent that to me for review last year when I reviewed the Manta. And I'd forgotten how much I love that pen. I think it's really just a phenomenal pen and a phenomenal experience. and I think they did a great job. Yes, it's plastic, but it's also got some metal in the cap, and it's got that nice pin holder. So I like it a lot. But definitely, Aaron, you're going to have to share what you think of the Nomad, because I'm really interested in your thoughts on that. And Aaron says, if the meeting notes had file structure, or you could combine meeting notes with paper, then it wouldn't be an issue. No, and I get what you're saying there, Aaron, and I noticed you didn't mention meeting notes much in your video, but I also think the one thing that separates the Supernote and Remarkable ecosystems, even from books, if I remember right, and you can correct me here if I'm wrong, is that being able to store all of the things in one folder. So being able to put the notes, a Word document in the case of Supernote, or a text note in the case of books or Remarkable, a PDF, an EPUB, alongside your notes. To me, yes, you can do that with linking and you can do some other things, but the easiest way for me, from an organizational perspective, to keep a project together, and it's why I use that specific style, the easiest way for me to do that is to put it in the same folder structure, so that my notes are within the same subfolder of a larger project, alongside agendas, PDFs, all those different components. That's me, and that makes it a lot easier then for me to pull that over to Obsidian when I do need to take it off device. Again, that may be a personal thing, but for me, that's a big deal. And I think you did a really good job of highlighting what that looks like on the device and why it's so successful on the Remarkable, and again for the Supernote as well. And then I think the Supernote calendar is like 90% there. The only thing you can't do, and if you combine it with the quick access, you can do 90% of what WeWoods does, but you can't, first of all, tie an event to an exact date other than creation date. You can't, it doesn't have a memo tool, which, again, I'm not as big a fan of the memo structure because I can create a note straight from there. But also, you can write on the monthly view, you can write on the weekly view, you cannot write on the daily view yet, but they're revamping that, so we'll see. And it does sync with Google Calendar and Outlook. So the biggest things you're missing are the ability to customize those dates, the ability to um, have that task memo component, and again, that's if they can streamline that to-do app, I think we may see that change up. But that's just my take on it. Uh, I think that the folders within folders and being able to mix and match and kind of create your own structure is the value add that Supernote has. If you want all your documents in one folder, Supernote has that. If you want all of your documents in one folder, Remarkable has that. So, but they don't make you do it. And Aaron says, I will say this Supernote platform is not for me. It's a great platform, but I'll see if it grows on me. Well, I really would, or I really do want to see if you daily drive it, because that's one thing that you've never, and maybe you have, and you've just never mentioned it to me before, but you've never said you've driven it, like taken it to work and actually put it through its paces like you have the others. And if you have, I apologize. I just don't remember you ever talking about that. But if you haven't, I would be really interested to see what the experience is like for you to be able to daily drive it, to be able to use those text recognition notes and pull those off and export them, because you can do so much more from the export, being able to export, than you can do on some of the other platforms. Because the text recognition is always happening in the background and you can pull it off as a text file. You don't have to go through any hoops to do it. It's straight from the note, and even a long press. And then you can export and you can do it as a text, as a PDF, as a PNG, a lot of different ways. Okay, I'm glad I didn't misrepresent you, my friend, on that. Uh, so I would be really curious to know with quick access, the way they've got it implemented, with being able to create those folder shortcuts, the way that I hear you talk about how you organize yourself, I really think you're going to love it. Now, that's just me, and I could be completely wrong, but I do think you'll like it a lot. But well, anyway, everyone, it was so great to be on tonight. Please, if you're watching the replay, check out my affiliate links, check out the site. These are all things that I use, like I said, on the daily, and any support you can give me is appreciated. Again, doesn't cost you anything extra, and in some cases, you even get an additional discount if you purchase through these affiliate links. And it's a great way to support small creators like me and even larger ones. It's just a good way for us to be able to both give back by highlighting the things we use, but also help us keep making content that we hope you enjoy and like. But thank you all so much for being here. Have a great night. If I don't talk to you again, which I won't probably before Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your families, and I will see you soon. Just keep on moving forward. Good night, everybody.